So you want to land clients and build an online coaching business. You want to be able to land clients and start hitting the revenue numbers that you've seen people do. You want to be able to travel and have the freedom that an online business offers. The catch though is that because you're presumably starting out, you don't have the capital and the money to be able to put into paid ads to get this thing off the ground as quickly as possible. You probably don't have the tech skills or team required to build out complex funnels and sales processes and so on. Well, good news for you, I've got a system that basically bypasses that, and it's what I've used myself, it's what my students use. Since 2018, in this current business of mine, we've just turned over around 14 million GBP, which is 19 million USD. And I've helped over 3,500 people at this point quit their 9-to-5s, leave the gym floor, and build full-time online fitness coaching businesses. And all of them have used this method that bypasses the need for ads and tech and so on. So we call it the micro-influencer method. And how this came about is when I was starting to build this thing back in 2018, I was trying to get it off the ground and I got recommended to a coach that was struggling to build his business. Now, he had built a really good Instagram page. He had 26,000 followers, but he had about 5 or 6 clients. That was it. So him and I were messaging backwards and forwards. I was in London like in 2 days' time, and I knew that he was based in London. He was also a gym floor PT at the time, but trying to get his online business going. So I suggested for him that we met in a coffee shop and that I would give him a load of free advice and then we could just sort of take it from there. So I met with him, basically sat and brainstormed with him for an hour. At one point, I just took his phone, off his hands, put up a few quick stories on Instagram for him. And straight away, he had leads coming in, like within 15 minutes of doing this. And he's like, dude, I've never had this response to any Instagram stories. He was really, really happy. So before we wrapped up, he kept thanking me and he asked what he could do for me and how he could pay me and so on. And I said, you know what? You've got a big audience and I bet a bunch of them are also trainers that would probably like my help and would want to build their businesses. Let's do this. Why don't we get a photo together of us candidly looking at your laptop or something? And then can you just write a bit of a caption just saying, hey, had a one-on-one with Adam, tag me, super useful, looking forward to working with Adam going forwards to build my online fitness business. And he was like, is that all you want? I was like, that is all I want. So he does that. And literally within the next 24 hours, I must have had like 300 coaches follow me. I got into the DMs with a bunch of them, sales calls, signed up a load of people. That one post that he did, just tagging me in it and sort of hyping me up, really started to get my business off the ground. So I was like, wow, that worked really well. So then naturally, as I would be posting on Instagram and people would be inquiring, every so often I would spot coaches that would have decent sized followings, that would have other coaches following them, which obviously be my ideal market and my ideal prospects, that I knew I could help. So I would end up jumping on quick 15, 20, 30-minute Zoom calls to help them out for free. And all I would ask in return is that they took a photo of us on Zoom and then they would just tag like great business call with @AdamHaley1. If you're a coach who wants to grow your business, drop him a follow. And it just exploded. It was like a daisy chain effect. Every time I did this, I would just get more and more coaches follow me, more and more inquiries, and I kept doing this. And eventually, when I had some of my own students that were struggling to grow, I was like, wonder if we can do, a similar thing for them. And let me just cut to the chase. It works like crazy. So for example, Kerry, who I'll put on screen now, she's just done like a £38,000 month using the micro-influencer method. Alice, I think it's a £43,000 month she's just done. JK just done like over a £200,000 year. And all three of these are using our micro-influencer method as well as all of our other coaches within the program. So here's how it works. The first thing you want to do is you want to look within your own network and think, who do I know that is active on Instagram, has a good audience, has a decent sized account? And by the way, when I say decent sized account, it doesn't need to be 26K followers. It doesn't need to be 1 million followers. It can just be more followers than you. It could be somebody that's got 6K followers. But let's say you're a female and you want to work with other females that want to look and feel better, and your hairdresser or your nail girl or your makeup artist or whoever you get your Botox or whatever from. Let's say that this person has an engaged account. She uses it for her work and she shows her micro needling or whatever, things like that. If you're a guy, you just think of the equivalent. You would start there with these people and you would basically offer, hey, have you got a holiday coming up? Can I help get you in shape? And you basically do a bit of an exchange where it's like you deliver the goods, as I did, when I was coaching these people trying to build their businesses. And in return, they tag you on stories when they go to the gym. They share their results that you get. They make introductions and referrals. It really is the fastest way to just build like a warm, trusted audience that comes straight to you with a high level of trust because they know this person. So it's kind of step one. Once you start doing that, The second thing is to then start outreaching to other, like we could call them micro-influencers. When we use the term influencer, you're probably thinking of the girl that sits on the beach in Dubai and doesn't wear a lot, and just gets like free day beds at pool parties and so on. Like, that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm just talking about people that have like a level of influence with their small audience, hence micro-influencer. So what you're then going to do is you're going to start going on Instagram and you're going to start trying to find these influencers. So what I would suggest is that you, whether you're a male or female, you have a think about who the clients are that you coach and you want to help with. And then you want to think, like, what are the services that they use? Is it high-end luxury travel? Do they stay in boutique hotels? If you're a guy coaching other guys, are they interested in watches, for example? You basically want to think, like, who do I want to target? What are they interested in? What sort of accounts do they follow? And then you'll start searching for these accounts. You can then, there's a little like a plus button that's got like a little human icon, a little person icon with a plus. When you find somebody's account that looks like it's got your ideal prospects, you'll then hit that and it will come up with like accounts that are similar, and you'll go on a bit of a daisy chain effect, and you'll just send a super simple message. It's just like, hey, love your content, really resonates. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm trying to build my coaching business here. I'm really great at getting people in shape, but I suck at social media. You go with like be humble basically. And then it's like, don't know if you've got any upcoming goals, but I'd love to show you what I could do, maybe help take over your nutrition, your training or whatever, give you some ideas. And if you enjoy it, maybe just give me a plug on stories. From there, you'll start to build what we call a pod of influencers. So ideally, you want to get to a point where you've got like 3 to 5 of these people. Usually they hang around in networks, they'll tag each other and so on. And that's really powerful because then you'll have somebody that follows one influencer and trusts them. And then they'll see like another influencer off the back of it. And then they'll see this influencer tag you. And then they'll start noticing this pattern. So this trust is like crazy high. So the benefit is when these people start following you, you don't have to convince them. Like, they come to you warm. They come to you knowing who you are. From there, you start to build a pod out. And then at this point, once you start getting like intermediate to advanced with this, and you've got a bunch of them on board and it's working and they're bringing you in new traffic, new leads that you're converting through the DMs, and you can check out any of my videos on that, just following like all my content practices. In fact, I put up a video last week that's like the exact Instagram system that you should follow to land clients. The micro-influencer method basically puts that on steroids. So go check that video out as well. And then you start getting ruthless with them. So once you've cracked it, you start getting results with these people, you've got a pod of them. At some point, you're gonna have them reaching out to work with you. At that point, you start grading them. So we tend to grade them every 2 to 4 weeks on a scale of 1 to 4. So 1 means that they've agreed on this collab, this partnership. They don't do anything. 2 is that it's one-sided, meaning they agree to this collab, they accept all of the training and the coaching that you're giving them, but they don't do anything back in return. 3 means that they actually are tagging you and they're promoting you and they're doing collabed posts with you, but you're not getting anything in return. And 4, of course, is that they're crushing it, that every time they post about you, you notice an influx in new followers, in messages, in leads, and so on. The dream is to end up having 4 or 5, 4 out of 4 influencers that are posting about you continuously. So the ruthless bit comes in, which is over time, each month, you're going to assess each of your pod of influencers. Anybody at a 2 and below, we get rid of them, we refresh the pod, we bring new people in. This system might sound really simple, but it is legitimately the thing that got my business off the ground. It's the thing that all of my top students use, especially when they don't have the funds or the expertise and the knowledge to run funnels and ads and so on. This just creates the perfect like buying environment. What do you need for somebody to buy? You need them to come across you, which is traffic, and then you need them to trust you, which comes from them following you from this influencer. Hopefully this was useful. It's very simple. Not enough people spend time doing this. If you do, I promise it will be the thing that blows up your business quicker than anything else. And if you want me and my team to just do all this for you, then either just go find me on Instagram at AdamHaley1, drop me a follow, reference this video, we can have a chat. Or there's a link below this with a little link to apply. Go fill in your details, my team will be in touch, and then we'll run you through kind of how we work. Just to cut to the chase, you're gonna get private one-on-one calls, you have a private Slack communication channel, you'll have group calls, you'll have modules, you'll have resources, scripts, templates, intro message examples of what to send these influencers, how to grade them, how to set up contracts with them and agreements as you start to scale this thing. So we just take care of all of that. So if that sounds good, if you know that this year is the year you want to build an online fitness business, whether it's to do £3,000 a month, 5,000, 10, 15, 20, you name it, We've got people all across the spectrum. The freedom, the travel, you want to move countries, it's all totally possible. But it all starts with you hitting that button below, dropping me a follow or applying, and then seeing if we're a good fit.